Hello?
Agent Miles, gather the agents of S.C.R.E.E.N.
Wait, what now?
Correct. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to review Mission Impossible live at the cinema.
Alright. I'm coming now.
As always, this message will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
Welcome to Agents of S.C.R.E.E.N, the first and only place to come to for movie reviews live at the cinema. The last time you saw us was at Comic-Con. If you missed that video, the link will be up here or down in the description. But now we're back at the cinema and we've just seen Mission Impossible Fallout, which is the 6th of the series. Before we get started though, if you love Agents of S.C.R.E.E.N just like I do, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, make sure you share with all of your friends, and make sure you hit that bell icon so you get a notification every time we post a new video so you are up to date with the latest content. But let's get straight into it. Mission Impossible Fallout. First impressions, I'm coming to you first, Aaron.
Jeez.
What did you think of the film?
Sick film.
Yeah?
Sick film. Action was mad. The sequences was mad. The cinematography, mad. One of the maddest action films I've seen in a while that I can think of. It was mad. Proper.
Are we laughing in agreement or disagreement? What's your take, Jack?
But I'm laughing at Daryl. He's so negative. He's just so negative every time we're here. I mean, it was a good action film.
Yes.
It was a good action film. Points for originality in some of the sequences, but it is slightly predictable because it is Mission Impossible. It is Ethan Hunt. It is an American film franchise. It's a popcorn film.
Okay.
That's what it is. It's a popcorn film.
Really good one.
100.
What are we comparing it to? It's a really good pop.
Compare. All right. Let's
Yeah,
Let's
because
compare
this
it
is what
to
I need to.
Let's compare it to James Bond because
But hold on, before we get sidetracked, let's
Yeah,
just make
yeah,
sure
yeah,
we
yeah,
focus.
On
Mission
Mission
Impossible
Impossible
6. Let's get straight into it. That was the first impressions. James, what did you like about the film?
So there was some throwbacks to this film. So I can't remember if it was in the first 3 Mission Impossibles, but there was a running scene.
Yeah.
He was literally running across the bridge, and then there was a good throwback to that when he was chasing after Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
So that was really sick scene.
Every movie. No, seriously, you watch from 1 to the first. You know, like in the first one, Mission Impossible, when he smashes that fish glass inside that restaurant, he's running again, and he goes off camera completely.
What I will say to Daryl's point, obviously we know that Tom Cruise does the majority of his own stunts.
Yeah.
So even though he has a similar like running scene in all of his films, I think him doing all of his own stunts aids more than it hinders. So if you might get the same running scene, on the flip side of that, you get these spectacular action sequences where I think is worth it on the flip side of you may get the running scene in it. But anyone else had something they enjoyed in the film? I know I do.
Yeah.
I would say that the stunts, I have to admit, even like towards the ending, I couldn't believe that's him doing all of that. But I mean, obviously I know there's safety nets and stuff like that, but it's mad. Just if you see how high he was, in certain scenes, even the bit, I think there's a scene where he tries to grab the rope and he falls off, like he misses the rope, I guess, and he falls. And everyone's all like, oh, you know, like I think when you see people around the cinema, you can see that they were like kind of, you know, when you kind of think, okay, well, stuntman's doing this, something. I think because they actually know it's him, you kind of are a bit more invested, I guess. Yeah. So I mean, I gotta give him credit, and he's at 50 plus or something like that. That is mad, and he's actually quite in good shape as well. So
The helicopter scene, in particular, as he was about to get on the helicopter, that was mad because, as you were saying, obviously him doing his own stunts. you can see like him hanging on, like you can tell that it's him. Obviously,
trying to
it
get
does
his
make
foot
you
up
feel
and all
more
of that,
like invested in it. The fight scene in the bathroom was sick. Yeah. Shout out to what's the guy's name?
Lark.
John
Lark.
John Lark.
Aye. That fight,
I thought
yeah.
he
He handled both of them.
I thought it was just gonna be some random scientist or trying to
Yeah.
capture or something.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
the
yeah.
guy
He
actually
done
He
knows.
did fight. He handled both of them. The bike scene as well. They seem to do the bike scenes really well. In the last one, they had a sick bike scene. But it's
the bike scene in this and when it was in Paris and
yeah,
it was going
yeah,
round and round
it's
about.
really, really good. But it's not even just the scene; it's the cinematography as well, and the camera angles that they use.
Insane.
Like a lot of what do they call it? Kind of like third-person camera, where it's kind of like attached to like the side of the bike or the car or the helicopter, and it looks, the angles are mad. But yeah,
Okay. And you, being James Bond fan number one,
Nah,
what did you
Listen,
enjoy about the film?
the action sequences were good, right?
Yes.
I personally enjoyed the fight scenes, obviously for obvious reasons. And like I said, the originality of, because you can do a car chase, right? We've seen a car chase a million times, but if you can just make it slightly interesting, because we know someone's gonna get away, we know we're gonna have accidents, we know the police can't drive for shit. However, you know, if we can get some near misses and just something unpredictable, then yeah,
Okay.
it's good. It's good.
Yeah,
Also,
but
just,
go on, James.
just to add another addition to like the positives. Can I just give a shout out to that chick? I don't know what her name is, but she, from Rogue Nation to this film, she has been constantly sick in her role. Her fight scenes, the way she does her CQC, like going on top of people, like taking them down. Bro, she's just too much. She is a sick actress, and her choreography and her fighting scenes are just too amazing. She's too good.
She was good in this film, and another character that I thought was really good. I enjoyed. I thought Henry Cavill. I thought he was really good. He plays a villain well. I think I want to see him more in villainous roles. I think he's quite an intimidating character.
I think he's an alright villain. I wouldn't be scared of him
Why?
because he's not ruthless enough.
no, do you know what it is?
He's just like he's someone that takes orders very well
He's a side
and he
man. He's a
executes
side
the
man. He's not a
orders
main
well,
man.
but he's not. Come on, man.
I mean, that could be more of his character in this film as opposed to him in general. But I've seen enough in this role that would make me want to see more of him in a different role as in a villain. I think he was a highlight in this film, definitely.
Because obviously he was not like kind of the main head honcho of the whole thing, but the role that he played and the kind of the character that he was, I think it fit. He was kind of like that annoying, kind of smug kind of villain as opposed to like the main guy.
The way they built him up, there was like, yeah, this is some big man. You know, no one can't tell him nothing. How many people did he actually kill? He didn't kill Lark in the bathroom when he had the opportunity. He didn't save the police woman.
He killed the secretary.
What secretary?
Though. You know the secretary of IMF.
Oh, bruv, he stabbed him. Bruv, that you's not dead either. Do you know what I mean? What, he stabbed him once.
I accept
He would have died in the first 5 minutes.
I accept the points
He's
you
black.
guys. I accept the points you guys are making, but still, for me personally, it was a highlight. And I still, regardless of the things that he may or may not have done in this film, I still would like to see Henry Cavill in more villainous roles. You know?
Okay, fair enough.
But on that note, what didn't we enjoy? James, he said there's something about Henry Cavill on as the reverse to my point.
I mean, obviously, you know, I get what you're saying. I think it would be interesting to go down the route of where he might be a villain in other films.
Yeah.
But it is a bit mad because how are you the number one wet work in CIA, yet you're actually that much of a waste man, though? You're CIA, yeah? Which means you're a global spy, you're deading off all these people, jumping out in a Halo job. How are you so amateur? Like, you had to get saved by Ethan Hunt, and you're calling these people like Halloween costume people. Surely, like, CIA training will give you information, even regardless of you not being espionage or not. They will give you training, basic training, like jumping out of airplanes and stuff like that.
So Aaron says he can rebuttal your point.
Probably answer that. All right, so the CIA, yeah. What I think it is anyway. Remember, the IMF, yeah, that mission that they were meant to do was their mission. No one else knows about it, yeah. So when Angela Bassett said, nah, you lot ain't doing that without my guy because he's coming. So whatever, if you need to go, he's going. He don't know what the mission is. He don't know what they got to do. So he's being briefed at that time. Like when we see it, Hunt is briefing him right there and then. He's telling him, oh, this is a da-da-da. It tells you this, da-da-da. How is he supposed to know that? This is their thing.
That's
But in
GCSE
CIA,
science,
you're
mate.
pre-
Do you know what I mean?
In CIA, you should be prepared for anything in
Exactly.
any situation. In my
Okay, A level. We're gonna go for A level. We're gonna go for A level science.
Let's move on. Let's move on. One thing that I didn't like, it was just a minor plot hole. Obviously, Dowell spoke about Tom Cruise running.
Yeah.
In the bit where he was running, he was sprinting for a minute
But on the
without
back-
getting tired.
No, on the back of that,
How?
Jason Bourne can run for. He can run flat out for half a mile.
Not only
And
was he
Jason-
running in a straight line, he was also jumping across
Yeah, I
buildings
think
and shit
the
like
thing
that.
is,
we see-
Had the strength to hold the thing. There was what's that thing, that hangman challenge, right? You know when he was on the lift, on the escalator thing. So he's done that full sprint. Yeah, he's done that full sprint, and then he's holding on to this thing and just basically just having a chat. Yeah, what's going on?
We've had metahuman rock. Is this metahuman cruise now?
No, wait. Tom Cruise is trained.
These are impressive feats. So the fact that he's able to do these things, we should assume that he's obviously online.
But as I
High
always
trained,
say,
yeah.
it's an action film. This is what we we don't come to the cinema to what, especially like a popcorn film. You don't come to the cinema to see a regular human do like he's underwater for 20 seconds and then he's dead.
Yeah, I mean, even that bit, I think, towards the end, when 15 minutes just spanned out for forever.
It might have been 15.
It was a legit 15 minutes from different perspectives. So we got the first 4 minutes with Ving Rhames, then we got the first 4 minutes with Ethan Hunt. Do you know what I mean? That's what it was.
Anything else we didn't enjoy?
It's predicted. I mean, listen,
predictable?
it's a predictable film, innit?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
What did you find predictable about?
you know, like,
about it?
because we were talking about the audience in the cinema, and everyone's like, oh my days. But we know he's not going to fall from the helicopter. We know he's going to get the remote.
I'm
We
not sure if I
know
would accept
Cavell's
that,
going
you
to
know?
die. Come on, man.
No. You have
Come
to.
on,
You see,
man.
like we were talking about.
There's
horror
only one
films.
detonator.
Hold on. You see, like in horror films, you're saying like you have to surrender yourself to the film. This is what to get a full experience. You have to be like. You have to surrender yourself to the action, to the suspense. You know.
I mean, he couldn't.
No.
It's
That's
true,
a
he couldn't
valid
fall out
point.
the plane.
That's a valid point. But I just feel like it didn't give that to me. You know, like when we went to see Civil War,
Yeah.
and you know, Cap revealed that he was a snake. That genuinely shocked me.
God.
That shocked me. I couldn't believe that shocked me. I
You're
gasped.
still going on about
I
that.
gasped. I was like, oh my days. Do you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, I suppose you gotta surrender yourself to the film. I just don't think it was enough.
I think I feel opposite to that. I think as you feel predictable, I understand with every action film, you know the protagonist is going to survive and stuff like that. I felt gripped by this film, especially at the ending. Even though I felt like Tom Cruise is going to survive, I know this, but I was still gripped. It was the ending sequences on the mountains with the helicopter. It was one of the most gripping scenes that I've seen in a good while. 100%.
I agree, 100%.
Yeah, man.
You see, like when he's doing the chase, and then he comes off the bike, and then we're all like, oh shit, and then he goes to hide in the bush. Well, it's not a bush, it's a hole. That was good. That's clever. That's clever. Do you know what I mean?
I'll raise you one on the hide in the bush. With your whole thing about it being predictable, I think that's fine. I was saying before, it's fine as long as the journey to the end is good. And I think the journey throughout the film was still good. So whether or not you know the good guys are going to win, you don't know how they're going to win. Because I didn't know that's how it was going to end up. Like you're saying with the whole detonator. No, with the whole detonator bit, even I was saying to Miles, when they were doing the countdown, and then you just had the white light and it was silence. It's exactly like a nuclear bomb going off with the light coming in and the exposition. No, but what I'm saying is,
even
you
for that
don't know.
split
Even for that
second, though.
split second, I was like, wow, did they actually do it? Because it looked like because it looked like a bomb had gone off. That's how they done it. So even though it's predictable and the good guys always win, the way they executed, I felt it was very clever.
I think you should get into screenwriting, script writing.
I could do, you know. I've got loads of ideas. If anybody out there's watching and interested, hit me up. You know.
What's your socials?
No. Contact the Agent of S.C.R.E.E.N. We're in this together.
Okay, after our in-depth discussion, we're going to get into our scores out of 10. Daryl, I'm going to come to you first.
No, it's a good film.
Yes.
I enjoyed myself. I don't think it's better than Rogue Nation.
Okay.
I think Rogue Nation's a better movie. I think the action is kind of on par with it as well. To be honest, I rate Tom Cruise, man. I just give him credit. You know, he knows how to do these films. So I'll give it a 7.5. Solid 7.5.
Okay, 7.5.
Yeah, 7.5. Yeah.
Aaron?
Wow.
Okay.
Action was brilliant throughout. I thought. Can't really think of any flaws in the film, I'd say. So that's a good indication of how the film was as well. For my score, I would say 8.5. I would say 8.5. I watched Rogue Nation yesterday, so that's still fresh in my mind. And between the two, I don't quite agree with that. I'll say that it's not on the like the action not on par. I personally think the action seemed probably a bit better.
What's your take? Out of 10.
I'll say it's a strong 7.
Strong
It's a strong
7.
7. It's a strong 7. I mean,
That's harsh.
you know what you're getting. There are very few surprises, there are very few thrills. It's just good old-fashioned Mission Impossible. You can't give Mission Impossible credit for being Mission Impossible, you know what I mean?
Wow.
So it's a strong 7.
Can't give Mission Impossible credit for
Mission Impossible.
That's mad.
So
7.
it's a strong 7, innit? If you want to throw a 5 on the end of it, you can do that.
No, this is your score.
Yeah, it's a strong 7, innit?
No problem. It's been some very interesting scores so far.
You know what?
Ranging from
that's
7 to
interesting.
8.5. James, what's your take?
In my opinion, I still think so. Rogue Nation definitely has a much better story, and I think overall it is a slightly better film at the moment.
Okay.
The action scenes, however, in this film, I think were very exceptional, and I also really like the cinematography because like one of the scenes that I really liked was when they were jumping out the plane.
Yeah.
And they were talking about the thunderstorm, and he got hit by lightning. Yeah, and then literally like the whole screen went black, and it was just pure silence, so you could just like know that you got knocked out. So I would rate this a strong 8.5. Definitely.
Yeah, I think for me, in terms of like comparisons with Rogue Nation, I think maybe the writing for Rogue Nation was a tad bit better, but the action in this film was better than Rogue Nation, in my opinion. So I think it kind of balances itself out. I think I would need to reflect more to think which is the better film, but I don't think they're that far apart, you know. But I think this was a really good film, really good action film. There was a lot of hype around it. I think it lived up to my expectations of what the hype would have been. But I would give this also 8.5 right now. I think maybe tomorrow I might give it 8. So I think I'm going to give it 8.5. If you're a fan of Mission Impossible, go see this film. If you're a fan of action films, go see this film. It's worth the money. It's worth the money just to go and see the last action sequence. As James said, the cinematography was great. Definitely worth guys seeing this film. And I think that will wrap our discussion. Yeah. So our average score will be floating around here somewhere. And as we said at the beginning of the video, if you like what you see, like, share, subscribe. Until next time, we've been the Agents of S.C.R.E.E.N. Peace.